I'm doing a review on the Bauer 4-inch carbide tooth carving disc, as well as the Bauer 4-inch coarse carbide grit carving disc. Both of these are Harbor Freight tools. I bought them specifically to do a job. I was making a spoon mule and I wanted my seat to be contoured. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a premium tool, so I wanted something that would get the job done at a good price point, and these seem to fill the bill. And that is kind of the frame which I will be doing this review, not from a professional standpoint, not to answer the question as to whether or not these tools are better quality than Lancelot tools or another brand. I will mention the price points of those tools simply to suggest maybe if you need this tool for 1 or 2 jobs, maybe more, I don't know, this might get the job done. If you're going to be a professional, maybe spend the extra money and buy the premium tool. Okay, for starters, we are using the 4-inch coarse carbide grit carving disc from Bauer. These are both Harbor Freight tools. I am going to show you in real time how this tool performs on a piece of poplar and then on a piece of oak. So you will see how fast the material is removed, and then I would tell you, I'm going to give you my take on what I would buy it for, but first on the poplar here. So as you see, that removed material very fast. Just keep in mind this is poplar. So if you had to do some removal on something like this, a seat, which really isn't that much removal, I'm going to give you a little tip here. You don't need both of these tools. Get the less coarse one. When I get into this, I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't use this on something like a seat. It's a little too aggressive. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how this performs on oak. So again, removing material very quickly. Even if you had to do a seat on oak, the carbide grit tool is going to do the job. For fast removal, something that I would definitely pay attention to is how powerful your tool is. This is a Hercules 4.5-inch heavy-duty grinder. It is, I believe, 11 amps. Let me verify that real quick here. Yes, 11 amps. So if you have an underpowered tool, do not expect it to perform in the same manner that this one did. Now I have on the 4-inch carbide tooth grinding wheel made by Harbor Freight / Bauer. This tool is going to be a little more aggressive. For both of these tools, you're going to want the side handle on here. If you don't have that, you're going to have a very hard time controlling the tool, and you may even risk injury. So make sure you have this on there. And be careful, this wants to grab when you start using it. I've used it before. It's a little harder to control, or actually a lot harder. So there's definitely a learning curve to this. I used it before. I have not used it a lot. It is hard to control. If you want to really remove material fast, it's not a bad choice. If you're in an area where you need a little more finesse, this is not the tool you should be using. So if you're removing a lot of material for like some type of chainsaw carving, this is probably the more appropriate situation to use it. I'm going to go ahead and use this on the poplar. So much faster material removal and a little easier to control. But it was still wanting to walk me around a little bit. If you want to remove a small amount of material and you need a little finesse, I found this tool to work very well. And if you're making a seat, this is more than likely going to be more than enough for you. And if you need to remove a lot of material, this is not a bad choice. You just have to really be careful because it does want to walk you, and if you get nicked by those carbide teeth, that's going to be a rough day for you. All right, guys, in closing, I'm going to give you my takes. So this tool, it's very aggressive. It's kind of a comparable tool to the Arbortech Turbo Plane 4.5 inch grinding wheel. It's a similar type wheel, except it has, from what I can see in the pictures, I've never used it, but it has depth cutting limitations, whereas this, as in similar to the safety teeth on a chainsaw, they'll only take so much material on each cut, whereas this can take a lot of material with each cut. So it's very grabby, maybe a touch dangerous. If you're comfortable with using tools like this, start into it very slowly until you get comfortable with it. You do not want to be unsafe. Oh, and the Arbortech Turbo Plane comes at a price of $159 versus the Bauer Carbide Teeth 4-inch grinding wheel coming in at $16.99. So a big price difference. I'm not comparing these tools from a straight comparison. It's just, if you're trying to make a few of something, maybe you get the Harbor Freight version. Now, for the Bauer Coarse Carbide Grit grinding wheel. I found this tool fairly easy to control. It's still a little grabby, and at a price point of $24.99, it's also a good bit cheaper. King Arthur is a popular brand, or a brand that's been around a long time. Their coarse grit is $99. They have a fine grit for $67.99. I'm pretty sure that that's not going to cut any. The fine grit's not going to cut anywhere near as fast as this. Again, I'm not trying to compare these in quality. It would be my guess that the King Arthur has superior materials. I don't know that for sure, but that is what I speculate. There's also has some holes, and I'm guessing those holes are visibility holes, so you can kind of see where you're grinding. I'm not a person who does a lot of power grinding. I bought these to make this seat. Again, if you're making a seat, just need this. But you know, for somebody who needs them for a few projects, I do think these are a good way to go, especially the grit. The carbide tooth grinder, you know, I'm going to label this as a little bit more dangerous, and I'm going to say that you should be an experienced, you should have a lot of experience around tools, power tools, grinders especially. You want to use eyeglasses, safety glasses. You don't want to work it close to your face. Should probably keep the guard on there. As you saw, my grinder did not have the guard. Do not follow my example. At least that's what I'm going to preach. All right, guys. If you like the video, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you again.